Greetings everyone, welcome to another episode of Aipix podcast, where we're taking a deep dive into the insights of telecom sector across the countries of Gulf Cooperation Council. As industries accelerating the adoption of new technologies, telecom operators are increasingly challenged or provided with an opportunity from the embracement of forward-thinking innovations. So today we are honored to be joined by special guest from Smarttive, a global provider of new smart technology solutions, basically focused on the urban safety and operational efficiency. So we're really pleased to welcome you, Ali. Hi. So Ali brings a strong experience in the business strategy and innovation, especially in AI, video analytics, and IoT, with a solid foundation in the global market expansion and tech development. And from the Aipix side, we have Alexander Baiko. Hi.
Hello.
So, Alexander is our solution architect. He plays a pivotal role in the strategic product development and spearheading innovation with a strong expertise in telecom market and video surveillance market. So, Smarttive is involved in many projects across telecom sector, especially focusing in the smart technologies like IoT and smart security solutions. So, I guess we'd better start with a kind of quick assessment of the market. So, the first question is, what is the current state of telecom market and how telecoms, like specifically focusing on the how telecoms adapting their offerings according to the demand formed by the industries and just consumers to the new, like they demand in new technologies, new smart technologies.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the chance to speak to you guys. And I believe it's a very interesting topic. And based on our experience in the market, we believe that there are some insights that we can share. So, coming to your question, I believe the telecom sector in this particular region is definitely booming. We do come across news from here and there that there are certain challenges, but typically talking about GCC, the telecom sector has really seen very good progress in the recent years. Especially talking about the vertical growth as the telecom is expanding into value-added solutions and typically becoming a master system integrators, carrying along an army of system integrators who have expertise in different verticals, like us working with the telecom in the regions, primarily on the smart security and IoT. So there are others who work on different verticals. So as for the telecom sector, business models and growth, I think they have really seen very good growth in the different vertical markets in the recent past.
Thank you. I see. So it's really great to hear.
Oh, yeah, Ali. In your opinion, which telecom services are currently developing most actively in GCC? It may be 5G, IoT for everyday life, smart homes, mobile financial services, etc.
Yeah, so although I would want to stick to my area of expertise, but yeah, telecom has definitely seen a lot of growth in 5G. For example, in UAE, we have blanket 5G coverage. Wherever you go in the country, you have excellent 5G coverage. Same applies to some of the neighboring countries as well. Saudi being a large country, it might not have a blanket 5G coverage, but good enough in the urban areas. And some of the, when you get to the countryside, it might be still be 4G, but you have pretty handy coverage. Fintech has really seen a lot of growth in the recent years across the globe, and GCC is no different. IoT based on NB IoT is a huge success in the market. We are playing a pivotal role, especially in UAE and Saudi markets, collaborating with the leading telecom in both the countries. And we really have made a major impact in the market, and we have seen that the demand is there. although it took a while to take off in the IoT, but we really have seen pretty good growth in the past couple of years. And smart homes, as you mentioned, is another area, which is I would say more. It has become more of a commodity business because there are so many offerings, and then especially talking about the UE market, there's a lot of development happening, and all these smart home offerings have become part of the new projects. And if you move into any new projects, it's already there. So yeah, the adoption rate is pretty high.
Great. How is the role of telecom companies in the market changing? Are they still just a data channel between customer and internet, or it's already turnkey solution integrators? What do you think?
Like I said, telecom is not a very typical telecom anymore. Although region still has a lot of voice business, SMS business is not there. But voice business is there. Definitely, it's there. However, the vertical growth has been there, and the telecom, the way we see them, are a very typical master system integrator or turnkey solution providers today. They would have an army of system integrators with them, and you can literally talk to the telecom for provision of complete solution, no matter what you really are looking at, and they would have a solution to offer. So yeah, and this really applies to the whole region.
Which cloud, edge, or AI solutions are most frequently requested by the corporate and maybe private segment, and which industries you think are at the forefront of shaping demand for innovative services like banks, fintech, maybe something?
Yeah. So, see, in the region, government is the biggest buyer by large, right? So I would put government sector at the top. Then I believe there is the banking sector, and then retail is very strong, where you get a lot of business, and uh, telecom sector has really made a difference in all these three verticals. And governments in particular, they rely heavily on the telecom sector for their initiatives. Even in the banking sector, I do know that at least few of the banks in the region, they have collaborated with the telecom to deploy various solutions. And as for the cloud, data security is a challenge across the globe. We are no different, and uh, this particular aspect is really important because data has to reside locally. Whether you're talking to anyone in the UAE or Saudi market, irrespective of that factor, you will come across the questions that where the data would reside. So all the cloud providers who have local instances, and local does not mean the GCC region. Local literally means within that country. So, for example, Etisalat has their own cloud, STC in Saudi has their own cloud, Microsoft Azure is hosting all the data in Qatar. We do have AWS in UAE, and all the cloud providers, Google, Oracle, AWS, all these guys are either already present in the KSA Saudi market, or they are in the process to launch. For example, Oracle has already have a functional data center. The second is coming up hopefully by end of the year. And same applies to all the other competitors. So, and you would have seen lately that the government sector is investing huge money in the AI. So if you don't have the cloud or large scale data centers, AI is a distant dream. So yeah, there's a lot of investment going into this particular vertical.
Oh, thank you. Continue this topic. What do you think? How strong are government regulation in the GCC region regarding personal data protection? And in your opinion, do these regulations accelerate the launch of new services, or are they an obstacle for telecom operators?
I think the regulations are pretty strict, but they are there to support you, the aid in the process. So all you need to do is, for example, in Europe, GDPR is there not to really restrict you, but to regulate you, to assist you in the process. So same applies to this part of the world. The world has really learned from GDPR, let me put it that way. So all the countries who would have come up with the regulations, one way or the other, they are influenced by GDPR. And we have participated in a lot of projects where we have gone through this exercise. And we understand that although the process might look pretty cumbersome to start with, eventually you get to know that it was there to really assist you in achieving what you really want to achieve. So government is very particular about the data protection. It's not about personal data only. It is literally about all the data being generated locally, whether it's about a person or an asset or a commodity. They would want to make sure that the data is used internally. So AI is playing a pivotal role. Some of the players who are known for their role in privacy are really getting a lot of business locally, both with the government and the private sector. So all the regulatories sitting there are to assist us in the process. They have they want to implement best of practices. I'll give you an example of the surveillance vertical. Today, different verticals would have different regulations applied to them, right? But one thing is very clear, you cannot move the data out of the country. There is absolutely no way, whether you're a government or private entity or whatever. Why it's heavily regulated? Because they want to make sure that the every footage captured is within the control of the government or comes under the purview of the regulatory. So that actually enables them to ensure the law enforcement. And we have seen, everybody knows that UAE is among the best, safest places around the globe. And all these regulations are playing the key role in that. So it might, for example, the minimum data being stored is 90 days. In Europe, that is only 30 days. So there is a logic behind this 30 days. And we see the results. I mean, you can really take security for granted in this country.
And government support companies which are launching new services in that topic. I mean, like goes through the whole process to keep personal data safe.
Yeah, so see, sovereign funds, again, in this part of the world, whether we talk about the UE fund or PIF in Saudi or Qatar, these countries, they are doling out a lot of money, especially on the technology initiatives, right? So the the local funds are definitely available. If some company, individual, whoever is coming forward with a brilliant idea which is going to transform the market in a certain region or add to the security or assurance of the market one way or the other, the funding is not a problem. It's not, like I gave example a while ago that you would have lately seen that how much investment is being made into AI just by this region, trillions of dollars. And the reason behind this whole process is that we understand it very well that how these investments are going to pay off. So that is at the large scale. I understand we will be talking about the big players of the market, but even at the smaller scale where we come around the situations where we talk about the startups and all that, there's a lot of funding available. And I do know of quite a few companies who started in a certain vertical and then were heavily funded by the local governments, and they are now making an impact in the market. Lately, what we have seen that there is a lot of interest in the generative AI, and it's a mushrooming industry globally. We are no different, and there's a lot of funding being uh, provided to all these startups by the government agencies or the sovereign funds.
It's very sensitive topic for example, physical security solutions like cloud video surveillance and now how actively it is being implemented now and what factors influence this process. I mean, which customer segments are most interesting in these solutions like physical security solutions?
So physical security is not a choice for you, it's mandatory. So no matter what kind of business you are, there is regulation you have to literally follow. Depending on, for example, let's talk about some fashion outlets. Okay, so depending on the area they cover, they have a regulation that how the physical security needs to be implemented. So this region is working on a very simple formula that wherever an individual is going to need a help, there is an eye also, really observing the process, and they lend a helping hand. So the response time, for example, in UAE is 6 minutes. If you go on the road, you would hardly see any police around. But when they are needed, their response time is 6 minutes. So, and this surveillance regulations around it are really playing a pivotal role in it. They have huge command and control centers where they would be looking at each and everything, all the activities in the countries. They would be monitoring their fleet as well. They know how to redirect their fleet whenever needed for emergency response, be it the police guys, fire, ambulance, general civil defense activities. So 6 minutes response time is literally insane, to be honest. I mean, you would not come across this quite often. So, and we have seen it achieved on several occasions in the country. So it's top notch, and the physical security is the backbone for that. Just to add to it, we have a project in Dubai called Ojun, which means Arabic word, which means eyes. Under Ojun, there is a large number of cameras being deployed both by the government and the private sector are going to be contributors in it, which really brings the visibility across the Dubai as a state within UAE.
And all this area is like covered by unified ecosystem of physical security services, like including maybe access control system, video analytics models under one umbrella, or it's a chance to create such unified ecosystem of physical security services. What do you think?
Yeah, so I would put it into, I would say, different slots. For example, on one hand, you would have systems like that of major cities, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Riyadh, Jeddah, Doha, and all that, right? So that is where you come across state-of-the-art solutions implemented already, whether it's about the camera network, whether it's about the backbone, whether it's about the storage, video analytics, and all that. So everything is state of the art. And these guys, they don't shy away from adoption of new technology. So if there is a new technology which can add value, irrespective of the investment factor, we have seen that they're always willing to explore and see what value that particular solution is going to bring for them. However, there would be some smaller towns where the physical security setup may not be as good as within these cities, but believe me, even that is a lot better than what we might come across a lot of other cities across the globe. So, but yeah, room of improvement is always there. This is what we believe in physical security. Nothing is really perfect. That is the reason all these departments, regulators, they're always looking out for better and better solutions. And they want to adopt anything which is going to improve their services. So scope, room for improvement is there. New entrants do get business, definitely they do. And smaller cities in particular, where the investments are now coming as we are part of the process with some of those cities, there's a lot of business which is there for the companies to do, whether you're a camera manufacturer, whether you are into the network provision and all that, or you're just a storage vendor or offering the smart AI solutions, video analytics and all, you get a chunk for yourself. So business is there, but at the same time, you have the region has created the benchmark. And I think I can even say that these are the benchmarks created for the world, not just for the region.
So, oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was just interested. So we've discussed so much like success stories about the like huge players of the market and the opportunities they have, but like where opportunity lies, there lies some like obstacles. So I do believe that there are some, and I'm just we're really interested like what's even like these big players, what key obstacles they may face, and like how they solve them or planning to solve them. So
Yeah, a very good question. So, see, I would call ourselves a market which is really business friendly, right? If you know what you want to achieve, this is the market which is really going to help you achieve your targets. We have seen people who really came up with just an idea and started exploring the market, and they really were very, very successful. So I would not say there are any obstacles. Like I said during the conversation, that all the regulations are there to support you. So if you adhere to the standards, you go by the regulation and try to achieve what you're trying to achieve, you're gonna be successful. There's no other way around it, because market has massive potential. Market has literally got opportunities for each and every business in there. So it all depends at what approach you are taking. If you are adhering to the standards, you do your homework before getting to the market, because like I said, we are highly regulated market. So if you go by the regulation, you get all the right certifications, and then try to hit the market, there's nothing stopping you.
great to hear. When like everything is well planned, you will reach success.
Indeed. Same applies to other countries as well: Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman. So within GCC, you will come across more or less the same standards. Yes, like I said, the I mean, saturation or the achievements level might vary from one city to the other, but the direction is the same.
They have created some very good benchmarks.
Thank you. So um I just were like wondering. So mostly all of the big projects connected with like so we've discussed a lot about the physical security services, and mostly all of them are connected with like smart city initiatives, some like government's involvement. But are there any like standout projects which are I don't know, like maybe with the in a collaboration with government, or a bit like separately from government, like are in the region. So, yeah.
Yeah, see, smart cities is a
Buzzword across the globe. So we are no different. And I would like to identify some of the areas, some of the verticals which really have seen a lot of success in our market. Physical security is definitely at the heart of the whole process. But then, you know, water management has always been a challenge. And with the depleting resources across the globe, there is a lot of I mean, emphasis on this particular vertical, that water needs to be managed. Although the entire water supply is coming from the sea, which is never going to dry in our part of the world, but then again, there's a process involved. You know, there's a huge investment going into it to for the entire process to make it consumable for us, the residents, and then monitoring the process of production, and then supply, and then into the sewage and water treatment as well. So this is one very big area of water management. And then within that, irrigation is a huge area. You know, in desert there was no vegetation, but if you go across the country now, you would see it lush green, because there is a huge investment going into into that particular vertical. But we use a lot of IoT to make sure that we don't really lose these resources, or these investments don't go for waste at the end of the day. And then traffic management, smart traffic is again a very big vertical where a lot of investments are going. Smart infrastructure is a big area. We spoke about smart houses or smart homes, I would say. So that is another big vertical. and then monitoring the drainage networks where we have Smarttive, we have a big portfolio. It has been one of the key focus areas. And then at the government level, uh, both religious and general tourism is big in our part of the world. So tracking, especially that of assets, is a key area where a lot of investment really goes into. And then governments, they would want to make sure that they're getting the actual benefits out of it. So there is a variety of smart solutions which are being adopted, but these 6, 7 verticals are the major focus, the way we see that, based because we have a decent portfolio in IoT, and we have been working with both the government and private sectors. So we believe that these verticals that I mentioned have the key focus.
Thank you.
Are they already providers or companies on the market offering such comprehensive solutions? And how actively are they developing the region?
Yeah, so see, there are a lot of companies which are offering a variety of solutions in the market, but there is always room for new entrants. I'm a firm believer in the fact that you can really achieve do business in this part of the world if you are coming up with something interesting. It does not really matter that how many companies are there already competing in the market, right? It
Yeah.
is what the most important factor is that what you are offering. If you have something which is valuable, by all means, you are going to have business. So this market is very welcoming for new entrants, new ideas. Whether you're an old company here, you come up with a new idea, or you new comer with a new idea. Either way, it really is going to help you. And us as Smarttive, we have really seen by ourselves that yes, market knowledge matters. If you follow the go by book, you follow the rules, doing business is not a big deal.
I was in Sharjah last month, and I saw like uh, a lot of universities, like city of universities, and it means that government pay attention for the education of like uh, to make a market more mature, to prepare a new specialists and engineers to like support the future.
You're right. You're right. So there's some of the universities, of course, there are international universities having their own campuses, and then some local universities. For example, Abu Dhabi University is there, KFUPM, which is globally known for petroleum and minerals research in Saudi, is a big name. So we have a mix of both international universities having their local campuses and local universities working in a particular niche, right? One of the areas I didn't mention, but the Agritech is really booming in this part of the world. And for example, uh, Elite Agro in UAE, there's a huge investment that they have made, and most of the vegetables that you find in the market now are homegrown. So just imagine a desert with absolutely no facilities feeding its own population. So that is another big area where technology has really seen a lot of progress, both IoT and the agri-tech in particular by itself.
In general, how do you assess the competitiveness in the GCC telecoms industry in a global context? Can it be called a leading region right now?
Yes, so I think you would know that Etisalat, E&, as a group, they have more than 30 global operations. And Ooredoo in Qatar, they have probably 17 global operations, right? Zain from Kuwait, they're not as large as these two players, but they have few operations in few countries as well. STC has not really flexed its muscle yet, but I think they are going global as well. They have operations in Kuwait for now, but they are probably targeting some other markets as well. So what we have seen in the telecom sector, that there is a growing tendency, at least in Qatar and UAE in particular, that they are acquiring a lot of telecom operations globally, and that is how these guys are growing their footprint. And then we have Tawal, a tower management company based out of Saudi Arabia. They are acquiring the cell tower business in different countries. I think they are operating close to 100,000 towers today. So, and they are just acquiring shares in different markets.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we've discussed a lot, and maybe Ali, you would like to share some of your final thoughts on our discussion. Like, what do you want to say to?
Yeah.
So thank you very much for the opportunity once again, and I believe the areas that we tried to discuss, for us, the most important factor moving forward as a business community, right? All of us, we are involved in one business or the other one. So but GCC market is definitely growing. I would like to recommend to everyone who wants to really venture into this market, rest assured the opportunities are there. You just need to study that which particular vertical is offering something, but you must align yourself with that. Your knowledge and market requirement is going to achieve it together. So that is a message for the new entrants who are really considering moving to this particular market. And then there is a huge I would say market, the OEM who want to enter the market, but not as their own presence, but they're looking for the right partners. So even for them, the market is really offering a lot of opportunities, and there are some very strong companies who can support you locally. But my advice to such OEMs is, or ISVs, is that they need to look for the partners who might not be as big in terms of size of business and all that, but they might be very good in terms of the penetration in the market. So that is your starting point. If you identify the right partner, success is yours. So you need to spend time on your planning, whether you want to come to this part of the world as a business yourself, or you're looking for the right partners. And if someone really wants to, if the question is that what are the most appealing verticals, I believe we really see growth in each and every vertical. But the most appealing sectors is definitely government, which is the biggest buyer in our part of the world. And after that, I think tourism and banking verticals are really, really big.
Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing. Yeah, just I believe that this podcast is kind of became an insightful platform for many professionals and businesses who want to enter the market and just reap some benefit from it. So yeah,
Thank you very much, Ali. It was very interesting answers, and I'm glad to hear you again. And yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.